Hey guys, welcome back to our podcast, Life as a 20-something-year-old. So for today's episode, we wanted to talk about our 20-something-year-olds rushing their lives.
Absolutely.
You think yes?
Yes.
I think yes too. Why do you think yes?
Wow, that's a big question, but
Deep breaths.
I think, let me figure out a way to articulate myself. I definitely think social media has ingrained in society an image of the way that we should be doing everything at a specific time, at a certain age. You should be doing this at this time, and it should look like this.
Yeah.
It's like social media and just media in general and technology reinforces an image of the way we should be living our lives.
Completely agree.
There's no there's no sense of freeness on. I don't know how to describe it. There's no sense of freeness.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay, I kind of see what you're saying. I definitely think that social media portrays that at 23, 22, even 21, I mean, it's getting younger as the years go on, that you should be having the house, the car, like working in your dream career already in your young 20s. And if you are not doing those things, you failed at life. If you don't have the fancy cars, fancy clothes, and you're not living your dream life or doing what you want at 24, you failed. It's honestly insane. I feel like it's caused people to also stop feeling motivated to even chase their dreams and
just give up on themselves
and
so
do
much
the things
earlier.
they want to do and just give up on themselves so much earlier because they're constantly comparing themselves to what they see online and being like, oh my god, I'm this age and I'm not living that life. Like there must be
How
something
is that person that
fundamentally
age, the same age as me at
yeah, like there must be something fundamentally wrong with you, when in reality there's nothing wrong with you, and you don't know where people start out in life, which is so crucial to your success and how hard you have to work. You don't know if someone had connections or what their family help looked like,
or how much help they had in life,
or how much help they had, or even if they started out in a way better predicament than you, their mountaintop to climb maybe wasn't as high. Their mountain to climb probably couldn't have been as high as yours.
Yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't know that.
No idea
you don't know who people
how
are.
big someone's mountain is compared to yours.
Exactly.
You have no idea at the place someone's starting out.
You have no clue
that has what you want at the same age that
you literally have no clue. And then on social media, it constantly makes you compare yourself to people that you don't even know, and then you're thinking, oh my god, I failed at life. And I feel like at the end of the day, success is measured by how much you try to actively go out and achieve your goals.
Exactly, because at least even if you're failing and maybe not seeing the results as quickly as you want, at least you tried for something.
And you're you tried for something. You're putting in the steps to like get done what you want to get done.
Exactly.
And also being like, that is success, like acknowledging that is success.
Success is not measured on a global scale.
No.
I think also life has tried to put a number on success.
I agree.
If an image on success, it has to look like this, so you have to make this much money to live a successful, happy life.
Which is so false.
It's so false and it's so untrue. There's so many people alive, and you have no idea what their lives look like, and they are living very successful lives.
Exactly.
Success is measured individually, not on a global scale. But I think that the world that we live in is measuring success in such a big way of what it's the perception.
It means to be a successful person, and also tying this image of success into like, oh, people are living happy lives. Yeah. When in reality, you have no idea what type of life someone is living behind closed doors.
We're living in an image-driven society.
Yeah, but the image people present is just one version of themselves. It's one-dimensional. It's not the whole.
It's a perfectly captured moment.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know clue.
You don't even know what someone was going through 5 minutes before they took that,
or
then faked it to take that picture,
or faked it. You have no clue.
You don't even know. And I think we're at the age right now, we're in our 20s, we're so young.
We have
the rest of our lives.
Oh my god, yeah,
and I think most people at this age, they're just seeing so much and they're like, but this is not me, why don't I have those things? And thinking that they can never have those things.
I feel like it's making people feel the need to just grow up so fast and like get everything they want to get done. Life isn't a race. Like, if you were 24 years old and literally got every single thing you ever wanted at 24 years old, what would you spend the rest of your time on earth doing?
Exactly.
You have to really.
But I also think as long as we have more life to live, we're always going to be figuring things out.
And rediscovering,
Exactly. So even if at one day you reach your dreams, at that point you're still gonna have more things to figure out.
Yeah, more new dreams.
And new dreams and new
yeah.
goals, and you're gonna want to keep evolving, going after the things that you want.
Completely.
You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're still alive, you still have life to be led.
Exactly.
And things to figure out.
But
it doesn't end when one day you get like a dream
life. But
there's no such thing.
There's no such thing. But I'm thinking about how even the way society's always shaped it, that like you're in your teenage years, then you go to college, and then after college you get that job, and then in your 30s you get the house, you get the kids, and just such a structured way of a plan of the way that you have to be living your life. When if you're in your 30s and not married and don't have kids, that's completely fine. It's not for everyone.
No.
And just because
there's nothing wrong if you don't even want those things.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you're in your 20s and don't have your dream job yet, guess what? Some people don't get their dream jobs until their 30s.
Until their 50s.
Even 50s. I've heard stories about people who finally got the dream job or the dream career they always wanted, and they're literally 50. But as long as you're still alive, like you said, there's always time.
There's always
to be the person you want to be and do the things you want to do.
But I think also it's such an unhealthy thing to compare yourself to all these people, because it takes away from your unique journey in life. If you don't really embrace your journey and where you're headed and the path that you're on, it's taking away from the journey. Life isn't a destination, it's a journey. It's all the process and the things we do. So if you spend all of your time being like, I won't be happy until this, what about all that in between stuff?
Yeah, what about all of that?
You just miss out on all
You'll miss out on it. Your life will pass you by.
Yeah, you miss out on all of these chances, all of these opportunities, and just all of this life that could be lived because you're waiting for a future moment.
That may never come, too.
That may never come.
You know? And
you can go.
Oh, no, sorry, what were you saying?
No, you're waiting on a future moment that just may never come. And it's just insane. I don't know. I think me as a person, I've always just kind of really been in my own zone and in my own lane.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a free thinker, and I think for myself. So I don't ever feel pressured or feel confined that I have to be doing things in a way that society's told
it's
me
not
that I have to be
great.
doing.
It's really not. And I think that society glamorized youth.
Yeah.
You know, thinking that like in life your youth is the best it's ever gonna get, and that once you get old your life stops. Newsflash, as long as you're alive your life is always going on.
Exactly.
Even when we're in our 50s, if you live to be 100, you still have 50 more years left, and don't you want to be happy even then? Even in your 50s, you still want to be happy.
That's actually crazy to think about.
You know, life doesn't stop.
That's
crazy
to think
young.
if you're 50 and you live to be 100, you still have 50 years left.
Yeah, dude, but society glamorized youth. It's not just because you're young and you're in your prime of life, I guess, quote unquote, that's the best it's ever gonna get. There shouldn't be a peak. There shouldn't be a peak.
It should always be.
It should always be greatness. 100%. It should not be a peak. It should always be greatness.
I 100% agree with thinking about it in that type of way. Wow, like hearing that if you're 50 and thinking about you still have 50 years left, like that's insane. Like, I think it actually is crazy how much society has glamorized like youth in your 20s, and thinking that the 20s are supposed to be the years that you have your whole life figured out, planned out. No spontaneity, no adventures, no wrong way,
no wrong turns.
I'm taking a straight lane to the rest of my life, and this is how everything is going to be.
That sounds so boring too. Why would you ever want to do that? Your 20s are for living your life. Like, I don't know whoever told you that your 20s weren't for living your life, but they absolutely are.
They're for experiencing.
We're supposed to go out in the world and figure out what we like, what we don't like about life, the things that we want to be involved in, the things that we don't want to ever fucking deal with, you know, like things that we want to stay far away from, things that we want to get closer to. If you don't live your life and experience all of those things, then how are you ever even going to find joy in the journey?
Exactly.
And really
and your unique journey,
really discovering who you are just out in life without rushing to be in a future state of being. And I think that's an issue in society too, rushing to, when I finally get to this place, I'm going to be happy. There's no such thing. Even when you get your dreams, you can be unhappy in those.
You can get everything that you've ever wanted and be unhappy when you get there.
Absolutely. And I think that's such a made-up myth that if you get everything you ever want,
you'll be happy.
You'll be happy, and there's no such thing. And I just noticed that in our 20s, I see a lot of people just losing that like lust for life,
that
spark, that zest, and that inner child, I guess, and like that curiosity for life. And then they're just like thinking about work and grinding and the grind mentality, the hustle mentality. The grind mentality has become the toxic mentality. I think it's too much. It's crazy.
Too much. I mean, obviously, it's so good to work towards your dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
The life that you want. a goal
advocate for
I'm
it.
an advocate
I'm
for it.
I want it.
I'm gonna chase everything I want in this life, but at the end of the day, we weren't meant to work ourselves to the ground.
Well, no, you also have to find beauty in literally just existing and being a human being.
And being alive.
Being a human being is really a simplistic experience that we've put a lot of unsimple things onto, but it's a very simple experience.
100%.
And I think that you have to be able to find the balance of both, of being able to work towards the things you want to have one day,
and be able
but
to live
also
in the here and the now.
Being able to be present and live in the here and the now and live for the moments. You know what I mean? Live moment to moment and be present
to make each moment count.
To make each moment count and actually be present, an active participant in your life now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because life's happening now and it's not happening in the future.
And I just hear so many people my age, or as soon as we were after 19 turned 20, just
it was like, how did you just die from a kid to an adult?
So much, and I get it. Like, you have to grow up, but you still should keep that.
You have to grow up at 20.
No, and that's the thing. I disagree. I think some people always say like, no, but you can't always be a child. But I disagree.
I think you can be a child the whole way through.
I think you can keep the child alive. I think that you can go after everything you want and still keep it alive.
That's why you hear people, every time you see a child, you're just so like, aw, because children are just so themselves. They're so
free.
happy, they're so free, they're
so curious.
Free, you know what I mean? They're curious about the world, and then you wonder, you're like, but wait, why aren't adults like that? And it's because society has made it be like the moment that you grow up, you must kill a part of yourself to get the things that you want.
But you don't have to.
And you don't have to.
It's crazy, the maturity of like, okay, I just think that people get too old too soon and too wise too late.
Yeah, people get wise.
People get wise too late and then too old too soon. And I think
I love that.
And I think that's
I love that.
And I think that's just where I've gotten. I've realized as I've gotten older. I think that
just because you've been alive doesn't mean you're wise.
Doesn't mean you're wise and really understand things and have that awareness
and people
and life, versus you can be so much younger than someone and still be wiser than them. Because 100%. At the end of the day, wisdom doesn't mean that you have to not also be childish and excited, and you know what I mean? It's such a balance of both.
Yeah, wisdom is just the understanding.
Exactly, and I think that people get so old though.
Wisdom is just, you can tell you just have lived a lot of life. You've experienced.
Yeah, you have that awareness on life. Versus people get so old and kind of like shut down a part of themselves, I feel like, in order, I think because they feel like they have to.
I mean, because society tells you have to.
It does.
It's such
it really reinforces it.
It really reinforces it, and it's such a plan, and then also everyone around you starts just reinforcing it, and then people just want to say, well, life sucks, this is just the way that life's supposed to be, without any curiosity or any question.
Well, people will say you have to grow up at some point.
Yeah, and it's like, well, what does that mean?
But
why do I have to do that?
We're at the beginning of our lives. Like, I think people forget genuinely that when you're in your 20s, you're at the start of your life. This is the time to really make those mistakes and figure out things in your life. It's not the time to have your whole life figured out.
No. But I genuinely
You're never gonna.
You're never going to.
You're never gonna. It's a myth.
It's a myth.
It's a myth.
And then also, I mean, I don't know. It depends on the type of person you are. I'm a really like freedom, adventurous type of person. So for me, it's like, why? I don't think there's ever going to be a point where it's like you just want your life to be one thing for the rest of your life.
No.
If you're constantly right now in your younger years just chasing a definitive, permanent state of existence, how is that exciting?
Well, why would you even want that?
So then you're going to spend like 40 years of your life living more of the same type of life, not expanding, not going out of your comfort, not meeting new people, not failing, not starting over, not achieving anything different on a bigger sense.
I just think that everyone really compares themselves to everything else going on in this insane world, and just thinks that, okay, I need to be doing this, I need to have this, and it's reinforcing, like, people be working for things that I bet they don't even want.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I think people be working for things that they necessarily probably don't even feel inclined to do, would naturally feel inclined to go after.
Naturally want to do
because of they see other people doing it, and they're like, oh my god, and it's a constant it's a constant mental thing that I'm not doing enough, or I should be somewhere else. Meanwhile, you're good. Meanwhile, you're good where you are.
Yeah, it's like crazy, the grind mentality, because people don't even feel comfortable to do a day doing nothing. And it is so okay.
It's an art in doing nothing.
There's an art in doing nothing, and also it shows you how the quality of your life. If you're not able to do anything, like being able to do absolutely nothing shows the state of your being.
Completely. Are you able to relax and be in peace
And
with
sit
yourself?
still and do
or
nothing?
Do you overwork yourself and throw yourself into things so you don't have to think about your life?
Exactly.
That's a good one too. I know a lot of people throw
do that.
themselves into work and this grind and just keeping
and one
busy
day making it.
and one day making it, and then actually are so unhappy and unfulfilled within their own lives, their personal lives.
Yeah.
Because your personal life is important too. Like, you can't just spend
it's
all
your
your
world.
time chasing all these other things and then be incontent with yourself and your personal life. You have to find a balance in life.
It's a balance.
Going after the things you want to do, but living for the now, and also trying to keep a happy, healthy life in your, like, a personal life too, within your relationships as well.
I just think as a 20-something-year-old, you should just not compare yourself to anyone's journey. And spend your time thinking that you have to be somewhere before you're ready to be there.
Meanwhile, you don't.
You just don't know where people come from, and everyone's so different and just so unique to what they want out of this life.
And if people constantly comparing themselves to other people, you're gonna forget who you are and
what you really
want. The
unique
journey that you're actually on, and you might start being too hard on yourself because you're not realizing how far you've came.
Yeah, and being too hard on yourself is literally a disease. Like,
oh my god, what the fuck? I can be really hard on myself sometimes.
It ruins your mind. Like,
it does.
It really, it ruins your self-esteem, and it just makes you.
It does.
It's just not healthy.
I struggle with that before heavily in the past. Like, some of my closest friends will be like, "Wow, Nyleika, you're way too hard on yourself."
Work yourself up.
And it wasn't until I took a step back and I was like, "Wow, I really am hard on myself." I'm not even recognizing how much I've done for myself and how far I've came on my own journey. I'm just constantly.
And how hard you work.
I was constantly just putting myself down, being like, "But I'm not doing enough."
That's why I think
so much.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think it's crazy and it's literally like a disease. Because it makes you just black out all of the good things that you've done for yourself. How far you've actually came, and all you think about is how much you're not doing every day.
Meanwhile, look at everything you are doing
and everything you have doing. But that's what I think it's the comparison too, and it's like being hard on yourself because then you'll be like, "But that person is like doing more than me," and it's like, oh, forget what that person is doing. Just do what you're doing. And it doesn't. I always say it doesn't matter how slow you're going, as long as you're going forward, as long as you're building the blocks and going forward, that's good enough. I always will stand by that. That's good enough as long as you're still making the stride forward every day, even if it's small, tiny things.
Even if it's baby steps, you're still moving forward. As long as you're not going backwards,
that's good.
That's great. You're already doing so much for yourself, And I think that as young 20-something-year-olds, we're really in an impressionable time. We're trying to figure out like who we are and what we want to do
in the world,
and what we want to be. And I think it's a really just impressionable time of life too, as far as trying to chart your own path and like figure out who you are. And I just think the constant outside chatter can really be a lot on people.
It can be detrimental,
to our mental health and
to our unique journey.
Exactly, and just understanding that there is no race. You don't have to compare yourself to other people, and you still want to be an active participant in your life. Live in the now while working towards the things you want to do. And I think social media, is definitely one of the highly things that reinforces it.
I mean, it shows the same stuff. There's like the little uniqueness that I see on social media.
You just see the same things.
It's the little uniqueness. Like social media when we were younger, genuinely when we were like a couple, not even younger that much, like a couple years ago, used to be so different. And now it's more so you see the same things.
Everyone's posting the same type of pictures, the same videos,
captions,
stories, captions.
It's all the same.
It's all the same, And I feel like that's what it goes more like, that sheep mentality, I guess. I'm just following the herd, and I'm like,
the herd's lost.
The herd is lost, absolutely.
I genuinely think
we don't need more of the herd. We need more
the uniqueness.
The
and people who are not afraid to take their own journeys and their own paths, and even if it's not conventional or conventional, that's dope that you're not following the conventional. And you know what's dope are people who don't follow the conventional and everyone doubted them and they somehow make it. Those are everyone's
always like, how the fuck, and then you just did it. You did people wrong. I think it was an interview I had watched, and I don't remember exactly who it was, but it was kind of like, keep on swinging because no one's gonna remember all the swings that didn't make it. They're only gonna remember the home run.
You're talking about Scooter Braun.
Scooter Braun in an interview. I watched, and he was like, everyone's only gonna remember that one hit. The home run, you know what I mean? The one that made it. That's all
they're never going to see everything that happened before.
No, they're only going to remember that one, so it's like keep on proving people wrong and just doing it regardless.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's just...
Exactly. I think, what are your final notes for
final notes for our 20-something years growing up too fast, it was definitely yes. I would say, I think of one of the main causes, I think it was always definitely ingrained into society as far as glamorizing youth, being like, in your 20s you do this, in your 30s you do that.
Yeah, it was like, this is what you do.
That's just what you do.
So the way you do when you're like 40,
and I feel like I think everyone's finally breaking out of that, being like, no, that is not real. We don't have to do those things. I don't have to be 30-something and married with kids.
Yeah.
I don't have to be 20-something. I didn't have to go to college and get that degree if I didn't want to.
I didn't want that.
I don't have to have everything planned out, my whole life set up. And I think everyone as a society is collectively shifting out of that mentality. You know what I mean? But I think it's shifting in a different way now that's making young 20-something-year-olds want to be older than they are.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like it's shifting now. In your 20s being like, okay.
Or thinking that you have to be like everyone else.
Being like, I'm not going to be happy unless I have that dream life in my young 20s so I can flex and look like this and be doing this. And I think that's where it's shifting to that type of mentality, which is really bad, because then you're missing out on the beauty of being young and still figuring life out.
And the funness, like,
and enjoying it.
I literally feel like when you're 22, you're still a teenager.
We're so young.
We're like, there's not much has changed when we were teenagers.
No, I mean, some people
that long ago.
It was 4 years ago, 4 or 5.
That's not that long ago.
Yeah, it was 4.
What? No,
so we were 18. So 3 since we were 19, 4 since we were 18.
I'm saying when you're 19, you're literally the equivalent of like still.
You're
18.
still so young.
We were like 19 like 3 years ago.
Same
That's
shit,
nothing. Like, I just feel like that's just way too young to just start being like, I need to like
figure my whole life out. What's your final notes on it?
My final notes is like absolutely, like, and like you said, I definitely think social media and like all of these outside things have reinforced it. But I think in life, like I said, life is all about the journey, not the destination. And I think it's just important that everyone, when they're in their 20s, just really focuses on what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The more you focus on what you're doing and your unique path, it comes to life.
Yeah.
The actual, like, I don't know, like your innermost desires and like what you fantasize will actually come to life if you really focus on your path.
Completely.
And you don't compare yourself to others. Like, comparison is really the thief of joy.
Oh, absolutely.
And in your 20s, and
I always say this: only compare yourself to the person you were yesterday.
Yeah. And at this age, comparison is just the worst thing that you can do.
Yeah.
And just worrying like, why am I not there? Why do they have more than me? Or just any of that type of stuff.
You're gonna kill yourself because you're never gonna know those answers. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to your individual life.
It's not gonna do anything.
It's not gonna do anything for you except make you feel like crap about your own life.
Exactly.
Which is so not healthy. You want to feel good about your life and the things you're doing.
100%.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna end the video here, but guys, leave a comment if you guys also believe that society's kind of put these pressures
and rushing
our 20-something year old lives.
Our 20-something year old.
Yeah, our boring 20s.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for watching.